This conference will now be recorded.
Desktop and SQL. So, is anybody facing the issue still? Are you guys anybody facing the issues while installing the Power BI desktop? Anybody not yet install? Then do the installation today and follow the yesterday video what we have discussed about the installation of the SQL Server, Power BI, and how to restore a database, a backup database. So what we are going to discuss today, we have everything set up ready, the database and the Power BI desktop. Then what we can do, we can establish a connection from SQL Server database to Power BI desktop. So how can we do this one? So first I will connect to my database. How to connect to your SQL Server by using a SQL Server Management Studio. I want to show you something more inside the SQL Server. So I'm going to use, this is the SQL Server instance. Click connect over here. AdventureWorks DW 2017. So in this database, we have identified what are all the tables we required. I'm going to take the list of the table names again. The list of the table names are, if you want to see all the customers information, you can use a dim customer, and if you want to identify all the categories what they are selling from their website, like Amazon, like Flipkart, that is dim product category table, and then select star from dim subcategory, dim product subcategory table, and then if you want to see all the dates information, you have a date dimension, and each customer belongs to which city and which location we are maintaining in a geography table. Okay, so these are all the tables we have, and the information related to the sales, that information will come from the fact table. So what is the difference between a fact table and a dimension table? A fact table is basically contains all your measures information. See, inside the fact table, you don't see any kind of new string data types or characters or anything. you can see only the major values. The key values: order date key, due date key, ship date key, customer key, promotion key, currency key, all the key values and numbers. But in the dimension tables, you can see some customer names, first name, last name, mail IDs. So you have all the dimension tables, some descriptive textual values like a customer information, like a location information, like a product category information, subcategory information, and dates related information. But the fact table contain all the key values. What do you mean by key values? Let's say, for example, in the dim customer table, you can see there is a customer key. Okay, there is a customer key. And in the dim product table, you can see there is a products information. Select star from dim product. So the product table also contains product key. Okay, what is this key will do? Each row it will identify uniquely 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 like that, even in the customer table also. So just come to the fact table and you can see this particular order date is 2010 December 29 12/29. The due is when it needs to be delivered, when it has shipped, and who is the customer purchased, what is the product. How can you see this? So who is the customer this transaction done, and what is that product? So how can we see that? If you want to see that information, I just want to understand the customer name. How do you know? So this particular order, this is the sales order number, and how much quantity 1, unit price, extended amount, and product standard cost, sales amount, tax amount. This is the delivery. So this particular, what is the product and who is the customer purchased, this one to understand, you can see the key value. If you remember, we have discussed about the primary key foreign key relationship. This is a foreign key, customer key is a foreign key, product key is a foreign key. I will tell you the example. I have two tables. One table is a customer table and another table is a product table, and I have a fact table. Fact table contains all your major values. So this is fact internet sales table. This is product key and customer key and quantity, sales amount. So let's say, for example, product key 1, customer key 2, product key 2, customer key 1, quantity is 10 and 20, sales amount is 400, this is 300. Okay, this is the fact table. Just imagine I'm just taking few columns. Then I have two more dimension tables. This is dim product table and have a product name. This is a dim customer. Customer key, customer name. So product key 1, 2, I have two products only, Santur and Lux. Customer key 1 and 2, customer name Ram and Vihan. Okay. See here, now I'm asking a question. The product key 1, sorry, this sales transaction, this particular sales transaction, the quantity 10, the amount is 400. Which product and which customer? So if you observe here, it's a kind of, this is a foreign key relation. And in this column also they are created foreign key. When you are creating a foreign key, you should refer the primary key column of other tables. This is going to refer the primary key column of this one. This is going to refer the primary key column of other one. Understand? So a fact table contains key values. What key values? The primary key column values will be here, and this is going to be here, and quantity and sales amount. Quantity and sales amount both are the measures actually. These two are measures, and these two are the key values. These two are key values and these two are the measure values. This is a primary key, and in this table also this is a primary key. So now my question is, who is the customer and what is the product purchased 10 quantity and sales amount 400? So product one means Santosh and customer key 2. So customer key 2 means it's a Vihan. So Vihan purchased Santur soaps 10 quantity and 400 sales. Then again product key 2. 2 means Lux. Customer Ram purchased the Lux quantity 20, sales amount 300. So similarly here also, in this fact table, you have a product key and you have a customer key. The product key 310. So simply you can go to the product table, dim product table. You can see which product is the key value 10, where product key equal to 310. So which product he purchased? The product name is Road 150 Red 62. It's a something, a product for the bikes. And who is the customer? So 310 is the product key and customer key is 21768. So simply you can go to the customer table where customer key equal to this one. Right? Who is the customer? Watson. Watson purchased Road 150 Red 62. So this is how we are going to identify that. So when we are taking all these tables as a part of the data modeling, we are going to make the relationships between this fact table and the dimension tables like this. The relationship between the fact table, a fact table contains a relationship with all the dimension tables. Dimension tables best example is a products table, customer table. Those are containing the descriptions of the products and descriptions of the customers. But the fact table contains only the key values and measure values. They don't contain any kind of descriptive values. Any question over here? Is it clear? Okay. So finally, I have identified what are all the list of the tables I required to, to get the data into my Power BI to design the reports. I have identified these many tables. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to establish a connection from SQL Server to Power BI desktop. Okay, SQL Server to Power BI desktop. This is the database I have inside the SQL Server AdventureWorks DW. I have identified the list of the tables. I will open the Power BI desktop and I will establish a connection to my data source. If you want to establish a connection to your data source, what are all the things you need to provide? What is your server name and DB name, username, password. So these are all the information you need to provide over here. Server name, database name, username and password. Okay, so we have everything that information. So simply what you can do, take the server name, copy the server name, and where is our MSP customers notes. Server name is, database name is AdventureWorks DW 2017, username, password. Okay, all right. So I have everything information. And what are all the list of the tables we need to import also? These are the list of the tables. Now we can open a Power BI desktop. Simply go over here, Power BI desktop. The Power BI desktop is a Windows application you can install in your local machine. We did on the yesterday, and I'm going to open the Power BI desktop to connect to the SQL Server because I need a data to design the reports. So to get the data, I have identified a data source. So before I'm going to discuss about this development to start, generally a Power BI projects, when you are getting a job in Power BI, once you are joining to a company, the Power BI project life cycle contains 4 steps. What are those 4 steps? The life cycle of the Power BI is, the first step is data discovery. So the life cycle of the Power BI project will do like this. Data discovery and data modeling, data visualization, data sharing. Okay, So these 4 steps we are going to do as a part of the Power BI. What do you mean by data discovery? A data discovery includes identifying the data source. The life cycle of the Power BI is data discovery, data modeling, data discovery, data modeling, visualization, data sharing, means report sharing. So first we are in the data discovery part. Under the data discovery part, what are all the activities we are going to do? The activities we are going to do over here is identifying the data source. Yes, we have identified our data source as a SQL server, and we are understanding about our business and what are all the list of the tables, understanding about the business, identifying the data source, understanding about the business, and creating a connection to data source and importing the data into Power BI, and while importing needs to clean the data, means performing the ETL needs to clean the data while loading the data into Power BI as per business requirement. So these are all the things we are going to do as a part of the data discovery. So to do all these steps, identifying the data source is done, understanding the business, the Flipkart, Amazon flow we have understand. Now we need to create a connection to the data source. So simply go to your Power BI desktop. When you are going to the Power BI desktop, it has opened this one. So here, this is the introduction page. So there is a lot of information available over here. Every 2 weeks, Power BI is introducing a new features. What are the latest recent features available in Power BI? If you want to understand, just go through this what's new. And Power BI has a forums, and you can ask any questions while you are working in the real time. When you are joining to a company, if you have any questions, you can ask direct questions to these forums. And Power BI blog. So Power BI blog means here you have latest news, resources, updates of the Power BI team. You have some tutorials also, some basic introduction about Power BI videos also you can see over here. Building a report, core review concept, uploading your reports, create a phone report, those things. And whatever the recently you have opened the reports in Power BI desktop, you can see. If you want to open any other report already created and saved in your computer, and if you want to establish a connection to your data source, you can use the get data. What are the recent data sources you created? You can see over here. You can see over here. So I don't want to use this introduction page over here. So simply you can use the Power BI desktop. Simply you can use the Power BI desktop over here. And where is the get data option? If you want to connect to any kind of data source, you can use get data. So get data means For which data source you want to connect, you can select the data source. There are many number of data sources available. You just click on the more. So there are many number of data sources available. If you want only file related, if you want to connect to Excel, text file, or files inside a folder, SharePoint folder, or anything database related, these many databases it is supporting, and Power BI related, Azure, online services, others, anything you can. So as of now, I am going to connect to the SQL Server database. So where is your SQL Server database? This is the one. Currently, this is supporting almost more than 100. More than 100 data sources it is connected. So simply select SQL Server database, click connect over here. And put your server name details over here. And database name. So simply take what is your server name, your SQL server name. We have saved over here. This is the server name. And where is your database name? So the database name you can take, this is the database. Because I want to take the list of the tables from here. So simply go over here. AdventureWorks DW 2017. So then what is this data connectivity mode? There are two options available. Import and direct query. Select the default storage mode for new tables. Default is import, but there is another one is there. So what is the difference between the import and direct query? So for example, so this is the scenario. I have a data in I'm going to use this SQL Server. This is Power BI desktop. This is SQL Server. This is Power BI desktop. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate when I'm taking import mode what will happen. When I'm taking direct query mode what will happen. What is the difference between those two? SQL Server, SQL Server, Power BI desktop, Power BI desktop, and this is when I'm going to establish a connection from Power BI desktop to the SQL Server. I have given server name, DB name, username, password. I'm establishing a connection, and inside the SQL Server, so for example, I have only one table. Just imagine I have only one table. table, employee number, employee name, salary. 100, Ram, 1000, 200, Sham, 2000, 300, Vihan, 3000. So this is the salary I have. 3 employees as of now in my computer. I mean in my database table. The table name is employee table. So today I am going to connect to the SQL server from my Power BI desktop. If I am using the connectivity mode as input, immediately your Power BI desktop will copy the data whatever you have in 100 Ram, 1000, 200 Sham, 2000, 300 Vihan, 3000. So you are getting whole data copied from your data source to Power BI desktop. Whatever the data at the time you are going to use, at the time you are going to import, everything will be copied over here. So for example, I am performing this action at what time? It's at 10:38 a.m. I am doing import connectivity mode at 10 a.m. Okay, exactly after 1 hour. So then in Power BI, what I'm doing, once I'm importing the data, I'm going to design the visualization. So in this visualization, what I'm trying to display, simply I'm displaying the total salary, and I'm displaying the total salary. Total salary is 6,000. 6,000 is the salary. Exactly after 1 hour. After 1 hour or 30 minutes or 5 minutes after, at 11 15 a.m. one more employee added in data source. One more employee added in data source. Here 400 Kirti, 4,000. 400 Kirti, 4,000. So when a new employee is adding in your data source, but your Power BI still it is displaying 6,000 only after 11:15. But your data source having one more employee, new employee. Is this new record is coming to Power BI? When a new record is added to your data source, is it immediately coming to your Power BI? No. Until again you are re-importing the data. Again, when you are going to perform a import operation, the new data will not come to your Power BI. So import means at the time you are going to do the data loading by using the import connectivity mode, whatever the data you have in your Power BI, it will take the set of copy and store that data into your Power BI. Then your report will display that data only. So when a new record is coming, how this new record will be reflected into your Power BI? That again when you are performing a importing the data. Again when you are performing the importing of the data, then only it will reflect. So as per my schedule, daily 10:38 a.m. daily per day only one time I will take the data from data source to Power BI. So again it's going to reflect tomorrow 10:38 a.m. This is what my schedule. Every day 10:38 a.m. import the data. So until tomorrow you need to wait. If you want to do the importing of the data after every 15 minutes or 30 minutes or every 1 hour, yes you can do. But as per my business requirement, after 10:38 at 10:38 a.m. of every day it needs to be loaded. Okay, what will happen when tomorrow? So tomorrow when it is going to import the data, here you have already 3 employees information. In your source you have total 4 employees information. So is it going to again duplicate the whole data, or it is going to take only this new record? Okay, so what it is doing, before it is going to do the copying of the data into your Power BI, first it will remove the data whatever the old data is. Then it will take the whole data from your data source and copy it into Power BI. That is called import connectivity mode. So the import connectivity mode will not take the live data. Whenever there is a new record is adding to your data source, that data will not reflect immediately into your Power BI desktop. Okay, it will not reflect immediately into your Power BI. That's called import mode. But when you are coming to the direct query mode, so here what will happen in the import mode? Once the data is coming, by using that data you can design the visualizations. You can design the visualizations. So here what will happen? This employee table, employee number, employee name, salary 100, Ram 1200, Sham 2300, Vihan 3400, sorry 400. So you are using a direct query mode, and you are using by connecting server name, DB name, username, password, all those things. So once you are establishing a connection direct query mode, your Power BI will not copy the data. What it will copy? It will just copy the metadata. What do you mean by metadata? Metadata means a table name and column names and data type. That's all. Then I'm going to design a report over here. What is the total salary? Total sal 6,000. But the data is not imported, right? How you are getting this total salary? So your visualization will contact your data modeling table. So the table directly reaching your data source. So every second and every minute, your visualization will send back a request to give the updated data. So this table is going to send a request to your data source and get back what is the updated data. But here what will happen, this is going to take the data whatever you have over here and sending the request and giving the response over here. So it will not go to your data source every time. Per day, as per your schedule, in a particular time, it will go to your data source and copying the data. Whatever the data copied over here, as per that copied data, it is going to take the data. Okay. Did you understand the difference between import mode and direct query mode? So direct query mode always will take the live data, updated data. So whenever there is a new record is coming, let's say for example, it has had 400 and Kirti and 4,000. So that information immediately will be reflected and the value will be changed to 10,000 over here. Okay. So because whenever there is a data update happen in your data source, that live data will be available in your Power BI. That is called direct query. So your
Each and every,
visualizations, yeah, go ahead.
each and every time it will request server for the data, right?
Exactly. So every time your Power BI will request your data source server to give the updated data. But here your visualization will take the data whatever already copied and saved already inside Power BI. It will not go every time to your SQL server and take the data. In a particular time, it will take the copy of the data into Power BI and it is using the data inside the Power BI desktop. Clear?
Yes.
Any questions on this? Input
For our
mode
practice,
versus yeah.
for our practice, do we need to use this import mode or direct query? Because
Most of the time I'm going to use input mode only. The reason because the import mode reason because I'm going to use import connectivity mode is so the import connectivity mode what we are going to use over here is the import connectivity mode when you are using it will support all the features inside Power BI desktop. There are many development features available in the Power BI desktop, right? So when you are using import mode, a Power BI desktop will support all the features. But when you are using this one, direct query mode, that will not support few of the features that I will showcase. Okay, that is the reason to demonstrate all the features. I am going to use this mode only, import connectivity mode only.
and there
Okay,
is one more option called advanced options. There is some command timeout in minutes.
yeah. So the advanced option is so you are trying to take the data from this server and from this database. What is the data you want to take? Do you want to write down a SQL query? You can write down the SQL query. I'm going to take the data from select star from dim customer and this query within how many seconds you want to execute. If you are giving 10 minutes, still even 10 minutes time, the query is not yet executing, then it is got failed. So I don't recommend to write the SQL queries. If you are writing any SQL queries in Power BI, you are a bad Power BI developer. Okay, so don't write any SQL queries in Power BI. So what we are going to do, simply we are going to select the import connectivity mode and click OK. In the next stage, it will display all the list of tables available inside your Power BI, sorry, SQL database. So here it is asking the username password. I'm going to use the username password for my Windows authentication, or if you want to give SQL authentication username password or any other, you can give that. It will take by default your system username password to establish a connection. Click OK. Then it will list out all the tables whatever you want inside the database. So we could not authenticate to credentials provided. Use my current credentials. Why it is not able to connect over here? So simply go to Windows authentication. I will try one more time. Use your Windows credential to access this database is not working. So what I'm going to do here, the alternative credentials, why it is not able to recognize the credential. Okay, so go to database. One second, I will try to give this username and password. So the username is whatever the desktop ktd3bkj slash Lenovo. Okay, so simply you can take this one and keep over here. Okay, and Lenovo, click connect. Why we are not able to authenticate? So I'm using SQL authentication over here. What happened? One second. Okay, so in these kind of situations, what you can do, try to open this Power BI desktop as an administrator. Just close this desktop, Power BI desktop, run as an administrator. So now we can go to get data, SQL server, take the server name, and the database is, it's optional. If you are not giving the database name, in the next step the database, all the list of databases will come. You can select over there, import connectivity mode, click OK. Use the current credentials, connect. Done. Okay, now it is establishing the connection. See, in this window it is going to display all the databases whatever I have. How many databases you have in your data source? Sample DB, AdventureWorks. So those two databases available. Click on the AdventureWorks DW 2017. See, all the list of tables are coming over here. So what are all the tables you want to select the data? Team customer, dim date, and location geography, product, category, subcategory, and fact table, fact internet system. So whatever the list of the tables you selected, do you want to load the data or do you want to transform the data? Do you want to directly loading the data into your Power BI, or in between you want to do some modifications for your data? For example, when you are selecting the dim customer table, it is getting all the columns, but I don't require all the columns. I want to remove some columns. So that kind of transformations you want to perform, you need to click on the transform. Or you don't want to do any transformations, you can directly click on load. Once you click on load, data will be loaded into your Power BI. So this is all about today's session. See, now it is loading that. Tomorrow what I am going to discuss, I will write down the points. What is the difference between advantages of the direct import mode, disadvantages of the import mode, advantages of the direct query mode, disadvantages of the direct query. Okay, all these things we are going to discuss in that tomorrow session. All right, we will meet tomorrow.
All right, sir.
Okay, when you are opening this Power BI desktop, if it is asking to try free or sign in, just click on sign in and close that window. You don't need to sign in anything. Just click on sign in and then close that window. That's all. For Power BI desktop, we don't require any license, whether it is a free or sign in or anything. Just close that one. That's all. We'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.